Hey everybody, I'm not dead. It's been a little while since I gave any update on the project car, but let me kind of explain my logic before I give you the goods. So I got this car back from paint, actually, I think right at a year ago this weekend, and I got it back and it blew my mind how amazing the car looked and the white that the customer chose. And you know, I took a couple pictures, put on my Facebook page with basically just it bare, the hood on, but none of like the lips, the over fenders weren't on, the mirrors weren't on. It was basically just a stripped down, right out of paint shell. And I mean, I've never seen a freshly painted, just bright white car like this. And it literally was just like, oh my God, this thing is special. So I got to thinking about it, and I didn't really want to post pictures or post a new video of it like that, because in my mind, you can really only unveil a car once. I really wanted to get it to where it was, you know, 90 to 95% of how it was gonna look when the customer got it before I showed you guys that, just so you could get, you know, that just boom, it's that impression right as you saw it, you know, kind of how I felt when I first saw it. So I went to work, I got a lot of work done on it. Like I said, I got the mirrors on. I went ahead and knocked out pretty much all the interior stuff. The roll bar is fitted, the Motec dash is in there, the seats are fitted, the steering wheel's on. I got the front lip on, I got the, you know, the rear bumper and its lip on, the over fender on, which there was some back and forth that had to be redone on that, which is actually where some of the time frame came to. But yeah, I wanted to just unveil the car just in its just most badass, just finished look, so that you guys could kind of have just that initial, just like, holy shit. So that's why it's been a little bit, kind of give you an update where we're at now with the car. The engine's actually ready to go in. I had to send the intake manifold off to get powder coated. So I should have that back from Boosted Power Coatings probably in the next couple days. I don't think I'll have it tomorrow, but maybe the day after that. And with this engine, the intake manifold has to be on when it goes in the car. So I've already got, you know, the whole thing's dressed. You know, Watt knocked the engine out for me. Brandon, my friend, did the final assembly on it, got the cylinder head on it. So that thing's ready to go. It looks amazing. The valve cover came out beautiful. The hardware looks good on it. Like I said, the intake manifold's all fitted. So it's gonna be basically ready to drop in, and then, you know, it's only gonna take a couple hours to get the engine in at that point. Then I'll put the trans in, you know, the sequential that we're putting in it, the carbon twin disc, and then I'm gonna take it to get fabricated, you know, get the whole turbo kit made, you know, all one-off stuff. I'm probably gonna tow it up to Schmuck, you know, in the next few weeks. So that's gonna be really exciting to let him just go from, you know, scratch, just be like, do your best work. This is our plan. I'm super, super excited to have him on board. So that's where the car is going in the next couple weeks. So what I'll do, I'm gonna take a step back, kind of give you, you know, the glory shot. I'll take the hardtop off, show you some of the stuff we've done inside with it. And yeah, just kind of show you where we're at with a few of the updates. There's some cool little things that probably nobody's ever gonna see, so I'll show you on the video here. Yeah, so let's check this thing out. Hopefully you guys had the same reaction I did. Again, I think this thing is just beyond incredible looking. I think if you're a diehard S2000 fan, or even if you just have an appreciation for clean built cars, I don't think it gets a whole lot better than this. Huge props to Rashid for the color choice. It's really kind of made me wish my S2000 was white, but at least I was able to fill the garage with another bright white car that is entirely the fault of this car with how good it looks. But let's go take a little bit closer look at some of the stuff that's been updated at this point, and I'll kind of walk you through it. All right, so one area that I was super happy with, and something that I really wanted to take into account, was the fact that this car is going to have an incredible cooling system on it. You know, anybody that's got a Turbo S2000 knows that if it's got AC, and it's got a big front mount intercooler, they like to run hot. You know, there's some things you can do, like a bigger core radiator, which is what's in here, which the car actually already had. But I went ahead and added 2 giant Spall brushless fans, which you can see here. Super excited about those. I think they're gonna definitely do the job. It's a custom fabricated shroud that we made. It looks absolutely sinister and black, so I don't know why I'm so excited about a radiator and fan setup, but that thing really gets me going. Down in the engine bay, you can see most of the fuel system up before the engine's already done.
So I kind of took some things I learned from mine and didn't want to mount any of that stuff to any of the engine brackets or engine itself. So you can see the fuel pressure regulator, the ethanol content sensor, and the fuel pressure sensor are all nice and tucked away on the frame rail. Can't touch anything, and will make the car super easy to work on. So basically it's just going to be routing the fuel lines to the rails directly from that. The fuel system will basically be done at that point. Some other cool things you can see. So we're going to use this T1 vacuum block actually for oil distribution to the turbo and the oil pressure sensor. So that'll be clean and nice out of the way. We painted a few of the stock components. Obviously had to relocate some of the heater hoses to keep the AC system intact. All these things are going to have to be thought about and planned out, which is why I wanted to get as much done before it went to paint. So all that stuff came out super nice. I shouldn't have to drill any more holes in the engine bay. So super happy that that came out. So another cool thing probably nobody's ever gonna see once the car is done is gonna be the radium surge tank setup. So I'll show you how this all came out. So this is a off-the-shelf radium surge tank setup that they sell for the E5LM brushless fuel pump. So we've got all of our lines routed through the factory carpet there, super clean. And all that's gonna run through some bulkhead fittings tucked away inside the cabin there. And obviously this fuel pump, as I've mentioned before, will be controlled by the Injector Dynamics BPC. So that single pumping controller setup, again, is going to be good for 2,000 horsepower on ethanol. So there'll be absolutely no fueling needs that this car isn't going to have addressed. So that's going to be super cool. Really happy with how it came out. I'll get the hardtop pulled off and I'll show you how all the lines kind of integrated with the other systems back there. But it came out super clean. Actually, probably my favorite part of the car is inside the area where the soft top normally is. It got completely cleaned, painted, everything's really cool looking. So let's check that out now. So I went ahead and popped the hardtop off so that we could get a pretty good idea on what's going on in the interior. This is one area that I was super thrilled with how it came out. The factory area behind the seats, it isn't attractive looking, but with the way that we stripped this one down, had everything smooth, painted, it came out really clean. One thing to keep in mind is, right now this is all kind of exposed, nice white paint, but this whole area is going to have the nice carbon tray where the electronics is going to be located. So that's currently at race spec, getting the ECU, the brushless fuel pump controller, and some other miscellaneous electronic stuff mounted to it. When they get that done, they'll send it back, and then we'll get the chassis wiring done. But yeah, this view in here is just so cool to me. It's just the theme of it, the white, the black, everything just looks fantastic. I took some pictures, and again, didn't post them up yet just because I wanted to kind of keep people in the dark, but this view of the rear cabin to me is just really cool. So, I'm not usually one that wants to be seen in a convertible with another guy, but this one I'd be all right with it. I don't think anybody would be too mad being seen with their bro in this thing. Pretty cool. So we've got a nice sparkle wheel that's, to me, color matching the car really well. Nice Alcantara. We've got the Motec dash tucked in there already. The Sparco seats, super comfortable, not super huggy, so it's not gonna be uncomfortable on long drives. But yeah, the interior is pretty much done. Just waiting on the electronics to come back and this thing can be buttoned up. Another area I had a decent amount of time in kind of restoring, not really upgrades for the most part, but with the car being a 20-year-old Honda, there's some stuff that was kind of worn out. The fit and finish on it wasn't nice, which is going to be the suspension, the brakes, all that stuff came off. Calipers got painted. The suspension arms I knocked all the bushings out of, burned the bushings out of, and actually had them done in a bright nickel finish that we use on a lot of the components at T1, like the transmission braces. I think the color is amazing. It'll hold up to any type of corrosion the car could be exposed to. Came out really good. It matches the actual coilovers really nice. So let me get the camera under here and I'll kind of try and show you that. It's kind of hard to see with the wheels on the car, but you'll still get a pretty good idea. You can see the arms are much nicer finish than just 20-year-old stock arms. So we've got new bushings everywhere, new suspension, they're coated. So you can kind of see the brake caliper and there's been refinished. So this is gonna be something, nobody's ever gonna see really, but when somebody crawls under this car, it's gonna immediately stand out and it should provide a lot of long-term durability from anything happening and making the suspension look really shitty in the future. All right, so that's probably gonna do it for this video. Again, like I said, I'll try and get the engine in this week. Hopefully the intake manifold shows up in time. It'll go off to fabrication at that point, because once the engine is, there's not a whole lot left for me to do.
I appreciate all the kind words and enthusiasm you guys have had, and you know, I'm sorry that the video took so long to come out, you know, just with the setbacks on a couple little things, parts delays, and then just wanting you guys to get, you know, the full picture. Kind of set me back. I apologize. Hopefully I'll get another video a lot sooner than this, but yeah, thank you again.